Okay, so here I'm going to show my transmission fluid exchange kit that I've kind of put together. I've used it several times and it's done well. Starts off with a bottle, pressurized sprayer bottle, just from Home Depot. I adapted a pressure line for air compressor to it with a valve to pressurize, and I found about 35-40 psi is about the right to get the right amount of flow, at least on some of my other vehicles. This system will feed fresh fluid via the two cooler lines. So I got the cooler inlet and outlet here. So as it'll feed in fresh fluid into the inlet to the transmission, and then old fluid will come out the outlet to from the transmission and run down a line into a drain pan. And so I've got both the pan, the drain, and the feeder fresh fluid are both graduated. So what you do is as you're running the vehicle and you're exchanging the fluid and it's getting pumped out in the drain, you need to be sure you're feeding it at the same, approximately the same rate. And so you can adjust the pressure in order to adjust that. I have this other valve in line here so that I can kind of do this process by myself, and it will run, I can connect the two together so that it'll just run closed circuit without having the drain and fill installed. And then whenever I'm ready to run, I'll close that off and open up the other two valves to get it moving. So that's kind of how the systems work. I've had pretty good luck with it, particularly with some of these sealed transmissions where you drain the pan, fill it back up, and then do the exchange to be able to get, instead of 5 quarts from the pan drain, you can get 10, 11, 12 quarts. So that's what we're going to set up. All right. Next video we're going to show here is unpackaging and assembly of the ICT Billet transcooler adapter plate. Picked this up on Amazon for about $35 or so. So what I'm going to use this for is a temporary adapter to the transmission so that I can do my fluid exchange. So I'll be able to hook up some lines in and out of the transmission in order to do that. And then I'll take it back off and put the stock housing back on that I've now replaced the internals with the Shift Technology Products transcooler thermostat delete. So let's get into this. All right. So first impressions, this is a aluminum part here. Pretty decent machine work here. The snout here is nice and smooth. That's going to interface with the gasket. And then we have AN fittings. I guess I thought these would have been steel, but they are aluminum. So I got 2 of those. I guess AN fittings are typically aluminum, so it makes sense. And it came with a couple seals and a new screw. For the block. So we'll get that. Let's get the block out. Alright. Did come with a new gasket. That's nice. New rubber gasket. And then here's the machine block. Again, piece of aluminum. Pretty sturdy. Well done. Nice deburred. It's got the company logo on here. Alright. So to get this assembled, did not come with any instructions. So what I'm going to go with here is that these seals, we got a seal on the back here. That's going to seal off to the transmission. So it really shouldn't need these seals, but I think they're supposed to go in here on this side as you screw in the fittings. So that's what we'll do here. Get set up. So I'm just going to grab a little transmission fluid just to use as a lubricant for the O-rings. Always want to lube up O-rings before you put them on. Alright, and we'll try to bring this seal over the threads. Try not to drag them over. And there you go. Okay, so that's in there. I'll do number 2. Get the seal on. I may decide in the future to use this permanently and just replumb the whole cooler line system with AN line, some braided hose or something like that, and we'll use this in a permanent fashion. But for now, I'm just using it as a tool for my fluid exchange. So then these fittings will tighten into here, and that O-ring will provide a little additional sealing in case anything gets past. And we'll just, well, these don't have to be tightened down real tight. I think I'm just gonna throw a quick adjustable wrench on it. Alright. This is aluminum, so you don't have to go nuts. Just snugging it down. Alright, and that's it. So these are ready to go in the transmission. I think I'm going to try and reuse the gasket that's on it right now and save this one for later. Alright, let's go back under the vehicle. Alright, it's going to be kind of difficult to see here, but I got my pressure tank with 2 gallons of Amsoil ATF in there, the ATL line of transmission fluid. I got my air hose hooked up to it, and I've got the pressure reduced down to 35 psi. Here's my feeder line. I got a couple of valves I can adjust to throttle either the pressure or the on the outlet side, and that is going up into the lower fitting. And then I have the other fitting, which should be the outlet from the transmission, is the upper fitting is going down into the drain. My drain pan here, which got a line down in there. And so this is a graduated pans or bucket. So I'm going to watch as this is going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to be watching this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Make sure that I'm keeping pace with the flow, and I'll adjust as needed. All right, so here we go. Got a little fast, so I shut the engine off to allow me to catch up. I'm at 4. coming out, starting to look pretty good. Okay, we'll open it back up. Turn the engine back on. That's 6. That's 7. So we get down to 7 and I'm going to stop. Okay. Shut off the air. And that's it. We've exchanged 7 quarts of fluid. In addition to the pan, which was about 6. So that's 13 quarts. That should be plenty. Fluid coming out is looking nice and pink. It's about the same color as what's going in, so that's fantastic. So now I think we'll finish up. Keep a little bit left in the bottom here for filling up, just to top it off. So I'll go ahead and get the lines disconnected from the transmission, and we will install our thermostat housing that has the thermostat deleted and get those cooler lines hooked back up. All right, here you can see the AN fitting block that I've got installed on the side of the transmission. So the upper fitting is the outlet of the transmission. The lower fitting is the inlet. So I've got fresh lube going in the lower fitting there, and I've got the waste fluid is coming out the outlet on top, and that is the way it ran. So that offers a good way to tap into the system. I did blow out the cooler lines to make sure we got all any old fluid out of there. And so now we've got the flush is complete, fluid exchange is complete. So now we're going to tear it down, and I'm going to take off that block and the hoses. Okay. So we've got our exchange system is disconnected, and I've got the lines, cooler lines, all cleaned up. Ready to go back on. So we have our retainer plate, and we have our deleted thermostat housing. So this goes up like that, and then the lines will go in the end. So we'll go ahead and get that. Go ahead and get the lines mocked in. So I went ahead and put just a little dab of transmission fluid in there just to help lubricate the fittings. And so that's the way they go in. Yes. Okay. So we'll get these in. One thing I did notice here with this retainer plate is that there is a direction. You can't put it in anyway, so it goes in that side up. If you flip it around, you won't be able to get it installed. So FYI, I'm gonna put a little mark on it so I know which way is up. So we'll get that. Just like to get the lines kind of worked in by hand, so I know I'm not tweaking them. All right, and then we'll work on the block. Little screw. Send that home. This bolt in. Okay. And we'll go ahead and get these snapped back into their clips so that they're aligned right. So then we cinch it down. They don't want to go. There we go. One, number two. Okay. Some more lines. All looking good. Do the tube line first. Not a lot of movement with this drive shaft anyway. Alright, so once that gets down, just snug it. Alright, and then we'll do the block. Now, everything is tightened back up and forced. Everything should be good and sealed. All right, now we move up to the top to complete the fill and get this thing ready to roll. All right. To the step where we're going to start refilling the transmission with new oil. We've got the pan back on, new filter on, pan's torqued. Gotta fill it back up with fluid. So I'll give you a little tip here. I see a lot of folks when they're putting in oil, they'll just take a big jug like this and they'll start pouring like that. And they're actually designed to pour from the opposite direction, and that way you're able to get a much better angle on it before the oil starts coming out. So you can see I'm almost getting fully vertical before it comes. I can control the flow a whole lot better, and it's not gurgling like if you had it flipped around. So little single quart oil cans, oil bottles with the offset top are kind of for the same thing, same purpose. So we're going to fill it in via the dipstick. See, no drips. And once you get it, mostly empty, you can flip it around. No problem. So we're going to put in enough fluid, get it up to the full cold, and then we'll start doing the exchange.